Hey there, thank you for checking out this video. This is an oil painting grid portrait of my wife and child. So first I got a grid on there. Oh man, buckle up, or maybe don't buckle up, it doesn't really matter. This is a grid portrait, oil painting. Started out with a grid, sketched my figures on here. Goodness gracious, look at that baby's head. It's gonna give us trouble later in this painting, so don't worry. We got our contours drawn and then went through and scribbled out, or erased rather, the grid. I was coming in as per usual with an oil painting. You want to paint from the back and work your way forward. So I'm throwing in my background color here. This is basically a kind of a light gray. And now I'm going in and getting some skin tones on. A lovely thing about oil painting when it comes to skin tone is that you can continue working the paint even once it's on the canvas. So I kind of start with a base tone. You can see me lay it down there on the neck and forehead. And then I come in with my different colors to, you know, if it needs to be more blue, if the shadow's slightly more green, you can go in and kind of work in the paint so that you can make your distinction. You can see me going in here on the face and adding in different shadows, also highlights. Also went ahead and painted the eyes there. You want to paint the eyes and then paint the lids, so that's why I jumped over to the eyes. This is a painting of my wife, and she doesn't look super great right now. So that's always a kind of a challenging part of oil painting, which I think also is why a lot of people go through and they lay down simplified sort of base tones for everything, so that you don't just have like a bald person in the middle of your painting. So that's probably a practice I need to start incorporating. Now I'm working on her shirt. This is a striped shirt, so I went in and laid down some white and then put down some blues for the shadows. Now I'm going in here finally working on the hair, a base tone of the hair. I was afraid that I had ruined this portrait. I always have a hard time painting my wife. I'll get more to that later. So now I'm painting the stripes on the shirt. I already laid in the shadows and the highlights on this shirt, so now I'm just going in and looking at the different stripes and painting them in as I see them. I really like painting stripes. Going back in, finishing up the hair now. I always get nervous painting my wife, and maybe this is common for a lot of people. If you're painting somebody that you really love, you get very nervous about making them look good, and then because you're anxious, you like don't paint as well as you could potentially. So anyway, it takes a lot of working, and I always get pretty anxious. Anyway, going in here painting this baby, you can see this baby is looking like it's been through some stuff. It's contemplating the meaning of life, whether or not it even wants to continue trying or not. Post-apocalyptic baby here. Anyway, eventually I was like, man, what am I gonna do with this baby? Like, he looks, I don't think there's any coming back from this, and I don't know how much time, I don't want to wait for this to dry and then repaint over him or whatever. So eventually I was like, I'll just put an emoji over that baby. But then I decided to go with this kind of Censored grid, and it also really fits the color scheme of the painting. Probably this child's grandmother is sad that his face got painted over in this painting, but you know, you can't win them all. So anyway, I threw that grid on there, and I think it makes for a really interesting looking piece. Instead of this just being a portrait, it looks a little bit more like it's a commentary on social media and stuff like that. So overall, not too disappointed, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this painting now. So there is that.